Greetings! Welcome to another episode of Porygondolier. In a previous installment of Solo Volo. Go on Paras, you can do it. And before you ask, I am not doing Paras versus Volo. Well, unless this video gets 46 likes. Please don't like this video. No, really, please don't. You know, in a way, the joke's on you, 'cause I like mushrooms. Paras is a bug with parasitic mushrooms growing on its back. According to the Pokédex in Ultra Moon, the mushrooms, known as Togekiss, are controlling the bug. Even if the bug bugs the mushrooms, they tell it to bug off. Wonderful, now let's have a look at today's challenge. In the red corner! Volo, a likely ancestor of Cynthia, who comes with a team of Pokemon that look an awful lot like hers. In Gen 1, his Pokemon have perfect DVs and all of their moves from the other game. In the blue corner! Giratina, Lord of the Distortion World, Master of Antimatter, and the closest thing the Pokemon world has to a devil. Giratina comes with terrible might, boosting its already Mewtwo level stats by 50%. In the middle somewhere, looking extremely nervous. Paras, a Pokemon that has some of the worst stats in the game, 4 times weaknesses, and for this challenge is not allowed to use any items in battle. If you take a closer look at Paras' stats, you'll notice that it's not only weak, it's also very slow, and with very good reason. Paras makes up for its abysmal stats by wielding the best sleep-inducing move in the history of Pokemon, the 100% accurate Snorefest that is Spore. But will that be enough to defeat Volo? Well, that's what we'll find out today. To get started, we need to power up this Paras, but before that, I need to make a little adjustment. See, I always set my Pokemon to have average stats for these challenges. Unless it's an unknown, they need all the help they can get. But this Paras, well, its stats are all over the place. So I head over to Cerulean City's Pokemart and pick up a bottle of mediocrity. Because hey, there's nothing wrong with being average. I suppose I could have made an item for perfect stats, but that just didn't feel right. And also, I had no idea what to call it. With that done, we need to get some levels on this Paras, and it should probably be able to defeat the Elite Four before we even start thinking about challenging Volo. So I guess we can just go and buy some rare candy. No! What? Who said that? Who? Me? Huh? Show yourself! Very well. Ah! Get it off! Silence, human! You will train me properly! But that'll take hours! Don't you like floor candy? Silence, human! Let us make our way to Blackthorn City! Yes, Blackthorn City. Let's go. Hello, Mr. Move Deleter Man. We'd like to forget a move. Foolish humans! My days of cutting bushes are over! Go, Paras! Silence, human! What am I doing here? My head. What happened? Why do I smell like compost? Did we actually beat the Pokemon League? Wow. I don't really know what's going on, but I guess that means it's time to go and fight Volo. You've come a long way. Not really, to be honest. It's not that far from Pallet. No trouble at all, really. Well, here goes nothing. Go Paras! So we've got Body Slam, Dig, Mega Drain, and of course, Spore. Spiritomb is Volo's slowest Pokemon, so Paras actually gets to go first. And with Spiritomb asleep, this should be a piece of cake. And that's because even if it wakes up, in Gen 1, Pokemon don't get to attack until the next turn, meaning I can just go ahead and put it back to sleep again. Although Dig does throw a bit of a spanner in the works. But this is why Spore is so ridiculously good in this game, because most of the time if Paras is faster than the enemy, it's more or less an automatic win. It's a shame then that the rest of Volo's team is quite a bit faster. And remember all those 4x weaknesses? Oh boy, we're gonna need a plan. It's time to take a close look at Paras's moves. Obviously we'll be keeping Spore, but everything else here is on the chopping block. Normal type moves are generally not very good for Volo, so Body Slam is out. And I want something to boost Paras's stats. We get access to both Sword Stance and Growth, but Paras is more geared towards physical attacks, so I'm going with Sword Stance. Now Dig is a really good move, but as we saw in the battle just now, it can easily mess with the rhythm of Spore. It needs something that can deal good consistent damage to Volo's main team, and also pack a punch against Giratina, so I'm taking Shadow Ball. From Spiritomb. Via Mimic, I'm teaching Mimic. And Mega Drain is definitely out. Grass type is actually one of the worst types to use against Volo, and it also won't benefit from Sword Stance, so I'll upgrade this 40 base power draining move to a 20 base power draining move. This might seem underwhelming, but let's just see. Paras, I hate to hurry you along, but after stuffing Paras full of PP-ups, I once again face Volo. I start off by putting Spiritomb to bed and then grab Shadow Ball. And because I'm not relying on Dig this time, unless I mess up, there's no way Spiritomb can fight back, meaning we have all the time in the world to max out Sword Stance. And Sword Stance is of course giving us extra badge boosts on speed, thanks to everyone's favourite glitch. And I'm actually going to conserve Shadow Balls and see what Leech Life can do. Not bad. Put it back to sleep and a couple more attacks to win. Now, I'm still very scared of Poison Jab, but we're in a much better position this time, with full HP and significantly boosted defense, which turns out to be very important. We hit back with Leech Life, which is quadruple effective. Togekiss is just a tiny bit faster than Paras, so we'll need to tank an attack. Well, I think the obvious solution here is to just make Paras a little bit faster. 2 rare candies is all it takes, now we can comfortably outspeed it. Sadly, Leech Life is pretty hopeless here, but I do want to get a bit of HP back. Shadow Ball is great, and next up is Harcanine, which is rather quick, and there's no doubt that Raging Fury will completely annihilate my little bug. But thank you Gen 1 AI, Spore for safety, and Shadow Ball. Apparently Lucario can read its opponent's feelings with its aura waves. Wait, that wasn't an aura wave! This guy just punched my mushroom! How rude! But we must move swiftly on, because in that last battle, I couldn't help but notice that a certain number kept coming up, and that number is 147, the speed stat of Roserade, Harcanine, and Lucario. If we can just beat that, most of the fight should be straightforward. At level 80, we actually have a speed tie, and this battle is a mess. I've already forgotten to copy Shadow Ball, I lose the coin flip to Roserade, and since I will need a powerful move, I'm taking Poison Jab. I suppose I could just reset here, but the prospect of multiple coin flips is far too exciting. Poison Jab one-shots Togekiss, and the second flip of the coin comes up Paras. Poison Jab is definitely a downgrade from Shadow Ball, but it's still a very respectable move. Lucario pulls out another Bullet Punch, which is a priority move, which could disrupt the whole Spore thing we've got going on here, but Paras doesn't seem particularly phased. And while we are in a very good position now, Lucario has been known to drink poison for breakfast, so we're very much stuck using Leech Life. It's a slow process, but the HP recovery is appreciated nonetheless. We reach Garchomp in almost perfect condition, but Volo has saved his fastest Pokemon for last. Fortunately, we're able to survive Slash, and Leech Life is surprisingly good. As always, the goal here is to
finish him
with as much HP remaining as possible. And this is looking great, except that Sharky Boy is no longer taking a nap. Aww. Oh well, we've beaten Volo, and now we can move on to level 2. Giratina! Gigo Gago Goo! This guy is very fast indeed, and we can only hope to somehow put it to sleep. Here comes Dragon Claw, and that's pretty much what I expected. With just one more rare candy, we can now outspeed everything except for Garchomp, making the main fight much more consistent. And since Leech Life is pretty good, as long as Garchomp stays asleep, we can set up a much better starting off point for Giratina. Now, obviously we're not going to be outspeeding Giratina today, so we are going to have to tank at least one move. Giratina kicks off the fight by vanishing into thin air, which is rather alarming, but Paras has clearly understood the assignment. Now we need to do a lot of things, and if Giratina wakes up, we're almost certainly done for. First we'll mimic a move, and Dragon Claw and Shadow Force are both super effective, but Dragon Claw takes less turns, which is good for keeping Giratina asleep. We of course need to use Swords Dance, and I'm also doing some preemptive spores just in case it wakes up. It does briefly occur to me that it'd be really handy to have some kind of counter on screen to tell us how many more turns Giratina will sleep for, but I quickly decided that this would cross some kind of line for me, so we won't be doing that. Here a preemptive spore does work, but the thing is, Giratina could still just immediately wake up. Oh, like that. Yeah, this battle is over. I try a few more times like this because I just want to know one thing. Exactly how much damage can a maxed out Leech Life do? Because if our recovery strategy isn't sound, we don't really have a leg to stand on. Eventually I'm able to pull it off and oh no, this is even worse than I feared. I knew bug type damage was resisted, but this is horrendous. Our only other options for healing are Mega Drain, which will be worse, and Rest, which will result in a game of who's gonna wake up first. Welcome to Who's Gonna Wake Up First. Our competitors today are Paras and Mr. Grumpy Man. So ideally, I'd like Paras to somehow outspeed Giratina. To that end, I feed it a carp and chips to max out its EVs, although they're not quite maxed out thanks to a bug, but we'll sort that out in a minute, and then feed it all of the floor candy. And if you're very quick with numbers, you may have already realised that even with 4 badge boosts, this Paras is still not going to outspeed Giratina. But his main team is now a clean sweep, even Garchomp that is comfortably outsped. Giratina starts off with a Dragon Claw, and it hurts, but it doesn't hurt that much. And once it's asleep, we can go ahead and max out Paras's attack. And it really is maxed out now. 999 attack on a Paras. Sadly, its speed stat is still 16 points short of Giratina, and just as I'm grabbing Dragon Claw, Giratina wakes up and proceeds to show me how it's done. A critical hit will be very bad here, but that doesn't happen and Giratina goes back to sleep. Now Leech Life is still very bad, but you know what? 22 HP of recovery? I can work with that. Barring critical hits, we only need a reasonable safety net of HP to avoid getting knocked out. And it's surprising how well these Leech Lives stack up. Eventually, Giratina does wake up, but we easily absorb its Dragon Claw and continue to chip away. Upon defeat, Giratina reveals its true power, and I decide it's time to get cocky. Who needs Spore when you have a maxed out Dragon Claw? Here comes Shadow Force. Ooh, okay. Now I've got a pretty good feeling that Dragon Claw might be a one-shot. And now I'm in trouble. That one miscalculation has probably cost me the fight. Ooh. Paras used Spore, and Leech Life is pointless now. It's Dragon Claw or bust. I just need Giratina to stay asleep. Oh, it's awake, but too late, and Paras takes the win. And just like that, the perfectly average Paras becomes the new VIP of the Distortion world. Well, I'm not entirely sure that's how it works, but it's a fun one to think about. Oh, and I'm not quite finished, because although this Paras was unable to outdraw Giratina in a duel of speed, I've got a feeling that's not necessarily the case for every Paras. So I head over to Cerulean City's Pokemart and pick up a bottle of superiority. Because hey, why be average when you can be completely perfect? And with 15 out of 15 stats, this Paras with 4 lots of badge boost can actually outspeed Giratina, meaning the rest of the fight is a cakewalk. And so Paras's journey has come to an end. I'm proud of you, little mushroom. You did a really great job out there. Put it there, little buddy. Let's do a fun guy high five. What do you say? Bug off! Oh, never mind. You've been watching Solo Volo Special Episode 1, Paras the Parasite. From the next installment, regular programming will resume, meaning it's finally time for me to figure out what on earth I'm going to do with Unknown. In the meantime, I'd like to let you know that I've been working on my very own Gen 1 ROM hack. It's called Ghostlock, and at the time of recording, it's still very much a work in progress. Should you like to follow along with that, I have here a playlist of videos where I discuss the development and generally talk about what I've been doing. And as always, I'd like to wish you a wonderful day, and I look forward to welcoming you back to another video soon. For now, bye!